Hello, tonight's main prize is a pair of tickets to any touring car or British superbike event at an Octagon circuit. And we've also got a smart sports bag, some Jeep binoculars, and this Accu tyre pressure gauge, which has been supplied by the International Tool Company Limited. So, let's play Asking Price. OK, let's just recap. The cars we're going to show you are genuinely for sale, and we ask our contestants to guess what the asking price is. Now, there's a point for the person whose guess is the closest, and that becomes 2 points if they're within £50, and we give 3 points for a direct hit. And of course, if two people make the same guess, they'll both get the same points. So with us tonight, Tyrone, a social worker, thanks for joining us. Graham, a member of the Institute of Advanced Motorists. Correct. So we're looking for advanced guesses on prices from you. And John Sherman, who's in the parts business. So straight into the game then, and our first round with Brendan.
Now, this Ford Galaxy TDI Gear X 1.9 is over 5 years old. It's got quite high mileage, but still commands quite a hefty price tag. You've got to work out how much. Because, as you'll see, fully kitted out, it's an overused phrase when it comes to used cars. But with this, it's very apt indeed. Like the spoilt kid next door, it doesn't want for anything. Inside, fitted extras include climate control, cruise control, electric everything, tinted glass, a CD player, remote central locking and alarm, a shower room, these captain seats rather than the benches, headrests all around, 20-year-old Filipino maid to do the washing, oh, and a fancy set of alloys. The engine too is one of the best that Ford does. It's a 1.9 litre turbo diesel unit, which makes for great torquey performance and also great fuel economy when you need it. It's P-registered 1997 and has 88,000 miles on the clock and is generally in very good condition. Still, there's just one problem as I see it. Who is going to want to buy a car like this? If you've got a brood of kids, you're not going to want their sticky, sweet-covered fingers all over these lovely captain seats with their velour upholstery. Pop star managers want Chryslers and Mercedes for their stars, and it's far too well kitted out for a taxi. So bearing all of that in mind, what do you think is the asking price?
There you go. What do you think is the asking price? 20 seconds, start writing on your pads. What do you think it is? Nice Ford Galaxy there. People carriers, very popular. And 88,000 miles. It's a turbo diesel, don't forget, makes it much more attractive. Easy to sell, P-Reg, only 5 years old. So, easy car to sell, time's up. What you got? Tyrone, how do you value that Ford? What do you think it's worth?
£8,000.
£8,000. All right. Graham?
9,999.
That's very precise. And John?
8,995.
8,995. OK, well, let's go back to the dealer and see what he wanted for that Galaxy.
People always use negative phrases when they're describing big families. Noisy, brood, screaming. Anyway, it's my problem. I'll get over it. As for the car, it's highly desirable. It's a Gear X turbo diesel, and it will cost you £9,995.
Whoa. There you go, 9,999. Graham, you couldn't have got a lot closer if you tried, and we give you 2 points for that. And of course, people carriers are so popular nowadays, you really, with a diesel engine, you really couldn't fail with that one. Let's try another round. This time we're looking at supercars with Glenda.
Elton John's had one. And George Michael. Oh, and Rowan Atkinson as well. In fact, when they first came out, I thought I'd put my name down on the waiting list. That was until I tried to guess the asking price.
When it first came out, this was the world's fastest production car and is still one of the fastest, belonging to the exclusive 200-mile-an-hour plus club. Inside, it feels more like the cockpit of a fighter jet than a car, and this particular car is in Le Mans blue with a grey hide interior. It's a 1993 left-hand drive model with 1,900 kilometres on the clock.
So, do you need a superstar salary to buy one of these? What is the asking price?
So there you go. Do you need a supercar salary? Start writing. Guess the price of that Jaguar XJ220. I can tell you from personal experience, almost impossible to reverse without sitting on the door sill with the door open and staring over the back of the car, which, if you're in your dinner jacket with all your finery, is not a very good idea. But they were a huge amount of money when they were new. What have they depreciated to? Graham, do you see yourself behind the wheel of that car? What would you value it at?
I wish. I'll put 95 grand down.
95 grand. John?
125,000.
So you think it's worth a bit more than that?
Yeah, I think so.
And Tyrone, what do you think?
My bank balance doesn't stretch that far, so I've put £25,000.
Well, it just depends how desperate the man is to get rid of it, but I suspect that he's not quite that desperate. So let's see what the Jaguar XJ220 went for.
Looks like it's A-list celebrities only, as this car will set you back £135,000.
There you go. So, John, a point for you there. You'll soon be speeding off down to the south of France in an XJ220. I wish. Very quick car, but actually quite a flawed one, I have to tell you. Our third round is my favourite. We're going with Lynn, and we're going to look at some classic cars. Just have a look at this.
What a delight! This MGA Roadster is truly British and ever so feminine. That's why I've bought myself one for my Roman holiday.
Check out the gorgeous black interior, and what about this little gadget? A lovely tonneau, it's called. It's a cover that you can just pull over when you pop into the shop, and look on the outside. We've even got a little chrome luggage rack for those weekends away. Finish it off with the 50s style feminine curves, and you've got yourself the perfect model. Absolutely gorgeous.
Jeeves has just finished packing up the car with our luggage and picnic, so I'm off to collect the girlies now for our little weekend away. Ciao!
She's off to pick up the girlies, not many of them in a two-seater like that. Start writing. What do you think the MGA is worth? It's actually fitted with a tonneau cover, I think I should correct and say. Very nice car, the MGA. Ran for many years, highly valued, sold superbly well in the States, and very much sought after over here. Time's up. John, can you get bits for an MGA?
Well, let's say I've certainly sold some in the past. Shady parts, that is.
And what do you value that car at?
21,995.
OK. Tyrone, are you a classic car man?
A little bit before my time. Quite a vintage, so I've got 4,500.
4,500. And Graham, finally?
I've got 15,000.
15,000. Do you like the MGA?
It's not really my cup of tea, but it looked nice.
Look nice. Why not your cup of tea? Beautiful car like that.
I prefer something a bit more modern, a bit faster.
A bit faster. OK, let's see what the MGA went for.
So, how much for our 50s sex kitten with the feminine curves? £15,000. £15,000. What a bargain.
Well, there you go. £15,000 for that MGA. Graham, you couldn't have been closer. Absolutely right. We'll give you 3 points for that. How come you know MGA prices so closely?
Pure luck. Pure guess.
Pure guesswork. In fact, you know, it's priced a little bit over the top, but it's a very, very nice car. And, of course, the thing about all those sort of MG classics is that there's a very enthusiastic owners club, and you can get every bit that you would need for it. OK, let's take a look at the scores so far. Tyrone, trying hard, but yet to score. John, only 1 point so far, but, you know, lots of time left. And at the moment, Graham is advanced, motoring his way into the lead with 5 points. Jolly good. OK, now on to our quickfire round, and we'll be revealing pictures of cars slowly. You have to buzz when you think you can guess within £1,000 of their value. Points go down as time moves on, and you only get one chance each to guess. So, take a look. Here's the first car. Now, what is that? Buzz when you know what it is. Tyrone, what is it?
Plymouth Cruiser.
Yeah? And how much?
I would hazard a guess at £20,000.
No, you're out. So it's between Graham and John. Buzz again as soon as you know. Graham.
Plymouth Cruiser, about 14 grand.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Actually, they call it the Chrysler PT Cruiser now, but 14,995, £15,000. Yes, let's have a look at the next car. Tyrone.
Vauxhall Astra.
How much? Quick.
£8,000.
No, you're out. Graham and John.
Vauxhall Astra, £9,000.
No. So it's down to you. Plenty of time. Think about it. What do you think it is? 4 points? 3 points? 2 points? What is it? Go on.
Oh, Vauxhall Astra, 12 grand. I don't think it is, though. Didn't recognise it.
Well, I'll let you have that as 12 grand, but in fact it's a Fiat Stilo, 5-door, 1.2.
For the badge.
So, on to the final car. Let's have a look. Tyrone.
Alfa Romeo 146.
What's it worth?
I'm not very good at price. Right, £12,000.
You're out.
12,000.
So, but well done, you're buzzing early every time. So, Graham and John, what do you think it is?
Alfa Romeo, 25,000.
Not close enough. Again, Graham, down to you. What do you think it is, and what do you think it sells for?
Alfa Romeo for 22 grand.
No, in fact, that's the Alfa GTV Cup, £26,995, would you believe? So, well done for getting in early, but just slightly wrong on the model, but amazingly good on identifying an Alfa. How are you doing at home? Well, here's a fun one to keep you guessing over the commercial break. It's an item of motorsport memorabilia. Now, this week we're showing you Damon Hill's helmet. It's race used by Damon during his last ever Formula One race, the Japanese Grand Prix at Suzuka in 1999. So join us after the break to find out just what the asking price would be for that helmet. So we showed you Damon Hill's helmet before the break. If you wanted to be the proud owner of this helmet, complete with radio gear, you'd need to find £12,000. That sounds an awful lot for me. OK, on with the game now, and Joe Blakeway's been down to the auction to see what's up for grabs this week.
Back at the auction again now, seeing what little gems we can find. Remember, we're after the auction's selling price, not the retail price. We found a very rare little car for you this week. It's an Austin Maestro camper van. It's a 1989 car on a G-plate with a very low 24,000 on the clock. It's in pretty good condition considering its age, although that beige body colour isn't the most desirable. I reckon it's still got plenty of life left in it though. So, what do you think it went for?
There you go. I've never heard of an Austin Maestro camper van before. Start writing, think about the price. Remember, we're down the auction, the men in their sheepskin coats looking at this with a raised eyebrow. What do you think they're going to bid for it? Austin Maestro, I don't know what it comes with. Perhaps it comes with beds and stoves and, you know, sinks. Goodness knows what's inside it. Time up. Tyrone, what do you value that Maestro at?
I'm going to hazard a guess at £500.
500 quid. OK. Graham?
I guess 350.
350. And John?
I would say 225.
225. OK, let's go back to the auction and see what the hammer fell at.
1025, 50, 75, 1075, 5, well that's not do, is it 1075? Anyone else order than 1075, outright?
There you go, 1,075. So, Tyrone, you're the closest, you get the points. I once hit a mountain in an Austin Maestro at very high speed, and it turned completely upside down, slid down the road, and the voice computer said, low oil pressure. We thought that's the least of your problems. On to our next round now with private sellers, and over to Lynn, see what she's found.
Welcome to the Renault 19 16-valve engine. It's now rich. Let's take it for a spin. So, young man, tell us a bit more about your Renault 19.
Well, it's Renault 19, like you just said. It's a 1.8 16-valve injection.
And what kind of mileage has it clocked up?
It's done 95,000.
And how long have you had it?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. And you paid?
£4,000 when I bought it.
OK. And I believe you've spent quite a bit of money repairing it as well.
Yeah, I've spent about £2,500. And it's mainly on like wear and tear, things like brake discs and springs, stuff that was needed.
OK, and why are you selling it?
Just overall running costs. Spare parts are quite expensive and it can be quite thirsty on your petrol.
Okay, so you bought the car for £4 grand 2.5 years ago and you've spent £2 grand on it since. Not really a sound investment, is it? So are you going to buy something a bit more economical this time round?
That's the plan, yeah.
Okay, a man's got to do what a man's got to do.
Indeed.
So this guy has spent a lot of money on his car and he seems quite reluctant to part with it. So how much money is it going to take? I'll leave this one with you lot.
There you go. Just going to leave it to you. I leave it to you. Carry on. What do you think the car's worth? So, 16-valve injection Renault 19, not the most popular car in the world. It's done 95,000. You know what he paid for it. 2.5 years ago, he spent a lot of money on it. Even so, don't forget private owners have an inflated idea of what their cars are worth. Time's up. Graham, how do you value that Renault?
It's tough. I've gone for 2,500.
You didn't fancy it that much?
No.
John, what do you think?
I think 2,395.
Very specific. Tyrone?
Wasn't hot on that one. £2,000.
2,000. You didn't think much of it. Let's go and see what the private owner thought his Renault was worth.
This guy is not going to accept any less than £3 grand. Seems a bit steep to me, but I don't think he's going to budge.
Well, there you go. Fighting the weather again. Brave Lynn. Yeah, so 2,500, Graham. You're the closest. You get the point. And a final chance to reverse the order. Our second quickfire round. The points go down as more information is revealed. Fingers on the buzzers, please. Let's have a look at the first car. Tell me as soon as you know. Yeah, Tyrone.
Alfa Romeo.
Yeah? What's it worth?
£22,000.
Not close enough. Hard luck. Graham and John. Immediately.
Is that me? Yeah. 26,000. Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, smack on the nose. Alfa Spider 3-litre V6, £26,340. Let's look at the second one. Tyrone.
Cherokee Jeep.
Yeah, how much?
£10,000.
You're out. Graham and John. See a bit more of it there. Only 2 points on offer now. Graham?
Jeep, about 14 grand.
So, John, make a guess at the price. Give us a buzz when you think you know. Yeah?
It's got to be a Jeep at 12,000.
None of you think that Jeeps are that expensive. In fact, £17,875. OK, let's see how that affects the final score. Well, Tyrone, you've got 1 point, but you deserve a lot more. Your car recognition was fantastic. It was just the prices.
Yes, not quite right with the prices at all.
But you could spot a car straight away. Very well done. OK, John, 6 points. OK, pretty good. And Graham, a runaway winner with 11 points. Pleased with that?
Very pleased. More luck than judgment, but very lucky.
Which means you're through to our final payoff round. But before we go there, well, there's prizes for each of you. We've got the binoculars, the sports bag, and this precision tyre gauge, made in America, AccuGauge. I cannot emphasise enough how important a really good tyre pressure gauge is for road safety. And you all get the T-shirts, and you're all Formula 1 enthusiasts. You're into Formula 1, Tyrone?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm following Michael Schumacher at the minute, but, you know, we'll see how it goes. Been as the season's just started.
Well, he's done pretty well so far, but third place this time.
So is Ralph, yes.
Is his brother going to overtake him?
Ooh, too early to call, I think.
Graham, how do you support Formula 1?
I watch it when it's on, and thankfully got a nice T-shirt for David, which I'd like to see him win this year.
You've got David Coulthard. He's a bit of a sorry man at the moment, though, isn't he?
It's not gone too well so far.
And John, what have you got?
I watch it occasionally. I've got a Schumacher shirt. Probably the best guy in the Formula 1 at the moment.
There you go. OK, Graham, you're through, and we're going to show you one more car. If you can get within £2,000 either side of this car's asking price, you win those VIP circuit tickets in addition to what you got so far. Now, you can ask the other two for advice. Do you trust them to be truthful? Are you ready? Take a look at this car. Here we go.
This, as I'm sure you are aware, is a Subaru Impreza WRX STI. Now, as we all know, most of these cars are completely mad because they've got 280 brake horsepower. So, what they've done with this one is added an induction kit, a dump valve, a super dragger exhaust, which increases the power output to 300 brake horsepower. It's not mad, it's clinically insane! Like this car needed any more power. Its 300 brake horsepower will get you from 0 to 60 in about 5.2 seconds, depending who you are and where you are. And on where legal, well, you don't want to know. Suffice to say, heaven and back in about 12 seconds. The car has got 17,000 miles on the clock. It's S-registered from 1998. It is, of course, an import, so do your homework carefully. Let's face it, these cars are not bought by district nurses. They are bought by bad boys and girls, so be careful. So, back in the studio, while I'm out here, what's the asking price?
And as he booms off into the distance, OK, you've got your time starting now. Start consulting, start thinking about it. Subaru Impreza, guaranteed licence loser. 300 brake horsepower, it's been tweaked and chipped. It's an import, it's got quite a few miles on the clock. Think about it. Time running out. There you go, time's up. So, Graham, what do you think? Tell me what that Subaru is
Well, between us, we've all agreed at 21 grand-ish.
21 grand-ish. OK, let's see what the car would fetch.
Now, the one reason why this car is so insane is that it bears more in common than you might think with those world rally cars that tear ass all over the place, and as such you pay for the privilege. This car is £16,495.
Well, there you go, just a shade under £16,500. You're quite a long way over the top there. Sorry about that, but you do have lots of other things to take away, and you're all Formula One enthusiasts, so what more do you ask? OK, that's it for this week's Asking Price. Here's another one for you at home. Put these 3 common cars into their correct order of value. We've got Ford's Mondeo Ghia, Nissan's Primera, and Toyota's Celica 190. And the answer is, of course, on our website, and that's at www.menamotors.co.uk. So we'll see you next time on Asking Price.
Oh, horsey, horses, don't you stop.
That was until I tried to guess the asking price.
Horses.
Am I in the shot?